Right. If I start with you, Ron, can you tell me a bit about Scotland, where you came from and what it was like?
I come from a little village called Nethybridge, which is in the Spey Valley, halfway between Grantown-on-Spey and Aviemore. That's where I come from.
Another little village like this one?
Yeah, it's probably smaller than this one.
Right.
Yeah.
And what made you come down here?
Looking for work, wasn't I?
You actually came down on spec looking?
Well, I worked on another power station at Rugeley in Staffordshire, and then I was sent down here.
Yeah. You were sent?
Well, followed on with the same company.
Right. And that was when A station was starting?
The A station was under construction, yeah. 1961 that was.
So when did they begin? When did they first turn the soil?
Oh, that was before that.
50?
Early 50s or mid-50s, I would have thought.
58, 57.
Yeah.
And you were in the village, you were born and bred, are you?
Yes, I was born up by the school.
Oh, right.
Up in the council houses up there.
Yeah. So what did you think of A station when it...
Well, it was all right when it was going.
Yeah.
Yes. I worked out there for quite a few years. About one of the first ones out there in the canteen.
So it was good for you because you found work?
Yeah.
When they first suggested they build it, what was the feeling in the village then?
Nothing.
Nothing.
No. Just enjoyed the company, the workmen and everything. They didn't seem to cause any trouble.
Right. B station was different, was it, for travel?
Not really, no. We had more trouble with the A station what we did the B station.
I wouldn't have thought there was any sort of bother that way.
Right.
Not
As regards the workmen and on site.
not in that way, no.
Both the A and B, I wouldn't have thought there was any sort of hassle around here because of them.
All right, we had lots of stories about...
Well, you might have heard something different, but
Yeah.
well, as far as I'm concerned, I've never seen any sort of bother.
Yeah.
No.
So you came down, Ron, to... Did you say you were a painter?
Yeah. Yeah, industrial painting, which is that steel buckets out there.
Right.
Yeah, and turbines, everything out there was painted.
By hand? I mean, with a paintbrush?
Well, mainly by hand, because it was different then. You haven't got the modern stuff what they have now,
Yeah.
but it was all done more or less by hand, yes.
How many on each team?
Right?
How many on each team?
Well, there was two painting companies out there,
Yeah.
not one, two. I worked for Ardens from Manchester for a start. Then I left them and worked for AM Fenner, which is another painting company. But I would say at the most there'd be about 20 men on each at that time.
To paint the whole of...
Yeah, but I mean, if they wanted more men, they simply called them in, didn't
Yeah.
they? That's the way it's done, isn't it? Yeah.
So you came down at, what, 21-ish?
Yeah, that's right. 21, yeah.
And did they find you accommodation? Or
No, we
did
lived
they...
in a hostel out there.
Oh, right.
There was a hostel out
Yeah.
there, which also had a bar out there, and a shop, and a barber.
Good Lord.
Club room, wasn't it?
That was all out there
Yeah.
for the operators that was out there.
How many men in the hostel?
Oh, there was quite a few. I would reckon nearly 1,000.
1,000 men?
Yeah.
Out on the bar?
At certain times, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
All in prefabs, were they? Or was it
Only
two
got
stories?
separate. No, it wasn't 2 stories. One big long, well, proper hostel job. You had
Yeah.
one room for yourself, and the one next door, and so on.
A bar and a barber and a shop. So you didn't need to go into the village or into Bridgewater?
No, well, you could go into Bridgewater, but the landlord of the Shelton at that time
Yeah.
was Ernie Quick, and he used to come out with an old black and white Bedford van, pick us up at the weekend, and take us into the Shelton Inn.
That was good old years, that was.
They were good old years.
Yes,
It was.
and he always had music on Saturday and Sunday with a little lady playing the piano. Sing along it was.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, and on the Sunday lunchtime, you had bread and cheese and pickles.
So he really looked after you.
He did indeed, yes.
And rather than let you go anywhere else.
That was Ernie Quick.
Ernie Quick, how long was he there?
I was there quite a while.
Quite a long time.
Yeah.
Anna Holmes was quick. She used to cook meals and roast dinners and everything.
That's Mrs. Quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they were local people.
Oh yeah, it's local.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I only know it back to about Mags and Dennis. That's all I've heard.
Oh yeah, I was long before that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What sort of pub was it then?
Well,
It just used to be just a house one time.
yeah.
Then they had the
several little rooms in the house itself, and you could sit in each one if you wanted. And there's a bar in there as well. But the long bar was the one they used at the weekends, which is it's a flats now or something, isn't it?
Down the side of the garden.
Yeah.
That was the long bar.
That's they call the long bar. Yeah.
No wonder he could have room for you all then, because you must have been able to get at least 100 men in there.
Yeah. That was the setup then.
Yeah.
Yes.
and a skittle alley.
Yes, Ernie used to come out regular every weekend to pick us all up, if we wanted to go there, which most of us did. But you could walk across the fields as well if you wanted to.
And did people?
And lots of them did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He must have made a bob or two out of you.
It was a busy place.
Oh, it was
then.
a lot cheaper than what it is these days.
Yeah.
Did you go after work as well in the weekday, or were you too tired?
Didn't seldom go. Was there a bar on site, wasn't there?
Oh right, I see. Oh, but the bar wasn't open at the weekends, or it
Oh,
was?
yeah.
It was if you
Every
wanted.
time.
Yeah, it was.
But you wanted to
But
get
it was only open at night.
right.
On the hostel side of the business, it was
Yeah.
only open at night.
I
Wouldn't
see.
open during the day
Yeah,
because of obvious reasons.
yeah.
Yes.
So he came up what on a Friday night with the van, or
Yeah, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday regular.
what time did he come on the Saturday? Sort of 11 o'clock-ish.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was at that time. Yeah, at 10:30 maybe.
He must have done several journeys.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
And he used to go to Bridgewater to pick the woman up what used to play the piano.
And with the good old days.
There must have been. It must have been fun.
Yeah.
Used you to go down there too?
Yes, we used to walk from here.
Yeah.
Ah, the whole village must have gone down.
Yeah.
My mother and
Well, not so
myself
much.
and friends. Always used to be at Sheraton.
Oh, what a shame it's not like that now.
Yeah.
It used to be the Greyhound and the Ackland and the Fox and Hounds.
Yeah.
Never seemed to click on like the
Really?
Sheraton did.
Yeah.
No wonder people have such fond memories of it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why it's a bit sad that it's changed to the Bubbling Brew, because everybody knew it as the Sheraton Inn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although, where was it? One pub I heard of where they changed the name, and then when new landlords came in, they changed the name back, and they said it made all the difference.
Yeah.
But you can see why they changed it, I suppose. Too much negative publicity.
Yeah.
maybe.
The painting of that job on the A site was a massive painting job, but you wouldn't get it now on the C site because everything will come on that C site will be painted, already painted,
Of course.
before it comes on site.
Yeah.
So whatever damage is done, they'll just touch it up and that'll be it finished.
So it all came to you as raw steel.
Pardon?
It all came to you as raw steel and concrete.
All raw steel, yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you had to prime it.
And all the walls were painted as well.
Good God.
Yeah, it was a massive painting job. That's why there was 2 painting companies involved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about fumes and?
No, well, if it was now, you might have it, but not in them days, because you didn't wear a hard hat or nothing in them days.
No hard hats. And asbestos everywhere, wasn't there?
Oh yeah, Turbine Hall was full of asbestos.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we painted all that lag pipe work in the Turbine Hall.
You painted the asbestos lagging?
Yeah. Well, nobody told us any different.
No, nobody knew any different,
No.
did they? No?
Well, I think they did,
Ah,
but they didn't tell you.
thank God you're healthy.
Well, that's what's happening now, isn't it? There's people claiming for asbestosis from that site.
Really?
Yeah.
Golly.
But I mean, they used to mix it up in front of you. big square bins and mix all the lagging up and then put it on the pipework. And then when it was all dried and everything, we painted it.
Good golly. How many years were you out there painting?
I was there for 61, 4 years I was there. And 65 was officially opened in 1965.
Right.
I think it was Minister of Power opened it in 1965.
Yeah.
And that was it all complete then, up and running,
Yeah.
65.
Did they just lay you all off?
No, they didn't. The company I was with sent me to some other jobs,
Yeah.
but we always got back because they didn't actually finish. They started recoating different areas of it, so we
Yeah.
didn't actually finish out there at about 67. But in the meantime, we were sent to different contracts, and then when we wanted to call us back, they called us back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember you saying how cold it was out there, how you'd stand in
Well,
the empty shell and...
that reactor building itself,
Yeah.
there's actually glass on the two ends. It's not sheeting like it is now. You
Yeah.
could see in through there.
Wow.
Yeah. But it's been sheeted since.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why did they sheet it?
Well, I don't really know why they done that, but well, I don't know what's the answer to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when they finished, had you two met by the time it was finished?
Oh yeah, we
Oh
met.
yeah.
Were you married by then? No.
Yeah. 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 A good wife used to give me a free sandwich now and again.
Oh yeah.
So you were working in the
Canteen.
In the canteen, in the hostel or in the A station?
Oh, the hostel
there was,
and all
there was
together.
there was a special canteen there.
Yeah.
It was on the left as you go in the gate there. That was for the workers.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there must have been a lot of employment there for people
Yeah.
from Stogursey.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of employment for everybody. They used to have bus services all over the place.
Right
That's
from
how we-
Minehead.
That's how we got there.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
From Minehead and Willerton and...
Yeah.
The Minehead bus, the Willerton and Watchet, and up through and pick us up here and then out the side, and the same on the way back. And then they run all the buses into Bridgewater and Burnham-on-Sea and them places as well.
Heavens above.
There was a fleet of buses out there,
Yeah.
double-decker buses, to transport the men back and forth. That's if we didn't stay in the hostel. The,
Yeah.
the local men, that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they all ate in the canteen at midday. Is it?
Yeah.
Mm.
That must have been hard work.
It was sometimes.
How many of you?
Well, there were quite a few of us, about 20 of us, good 20 of us work in the canteen, like washing up vegetables.
Yeah.
I was in the food department, like the snacks and everything, making sandwiches and everything.
Oh, it was a busy place. And also in that canteen, that main canteen, wherever all the contractors had their food,
Yeah.
there was a betting man there who'd take a bet off you.
Golly, was he known? I mean,
Well,
was that
I tell you who was taking the bets too,
yeah.
and a very famous national hunt trainer, David Pipe.
He was out there.
He had a betting shop in town,
Yeah.
and this man was taking the bets on his behalf on site, on a clock system. You couldn't bet before after the race started, but that's what it was. And he took the clock into David Pipe in Bridgewater.
Must have been a riot out there, really.
Yeah,
It must
that's
have been
it.
fun. I mean, you were earning money. And
Oh,
you were
yeah.
So if you wanted to bet, you just wrote it out and gave
Yeah.
it to the man that was taking the bets, and he'd take it into Bridgewater for you.
that wasn't legal, was it?
Well, it wouldn't be legal now,
Yeah.
but everything then was different than it is now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But even then it wasn't, was it?
Yeah, it was okay because
all sort of-
no, it was okay because
Yeah.
he had a bag with a clock on it,
Yeah.
so he took all the betting slips and put it in the bag
Yeah.
with the clock, once a clock, and that's it. Yeah, yeah.
So he used to come out onto the site. Was he someone employed there? Or?
The man that took the
The
bets was
yeah.
employed on site,
Oh, I see.
Yeah. but his job was to take the bets off the many men that wanted a bet and give it into pipe and bourgeois.
You must have worked hard there.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Where were most of the workers from? Were they mostly from Scotland and Ireland? And
Well, there was a good mixture out there, I would have thought. Scotland, Ireland, yeah. North of England, Midlands, yeah.
The darkies and everything.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And no fights between the nationalities?
Oh, you're bound to get an odd fight, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
It wouldn't be any other way, but I never seen anything really bad. No. I know you'd shell or something. So.
How did you get out there, Sylvie? Did you walk?
We used to cycle.
Oh,
Sometimes 3 o'clock in the morning.
really?
That thing out in the middle of the sea, we was out there by 3 o'clock in the morning for the men to have the breakfast before they floated that thing out.
Yeah. It's still out there.
Yeah.
He's still out there.
Yeah.
I didn't realise it was floated. I never thought about it being floated out there.
Yeah, that's the only way to get out there, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Float it out, yeah.
Yeah.
So why was that? Oh, because of the tides, I suppose.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
How long did you work out there, Sylvie?
Oh, 4 years, 5 years.
Yeah, she did an interview with the television people. Didn't you see her in the pub?
No.
Oh, she was there.
I was in it.
BBC one, yeah. I've done one for the BBC as well, by the way. The radio one.
Oh, fantastic. What, recently?
Well, no, 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When this,
Same time as Alan Settle and yeah.
when Hinkley C was up, and
Yeah.
goodness knows what's happening there now, but I suppose it will come in time, won't it?
Yeah, you'd wonder about it.
Yeah?
Yeah. I would say it would come, but I wouldn't think it will come very quickly.
No.
No. But whatever happens out there, it'll be a lot different.
Well, yes. I mean, there won't be any betting or parties or.
Well,
It's a different.
there certainly won't be.
Different altogether.
The drinking side of business is
Yeah.
restricted nowadays, as you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yes, because they do drug and alcohol tests, don't they?
Oh, they do. Yeah, I've been in 3 times for that
Really?
on the B site. Yeah.
Yeah.
And drugs and beer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I told the young lady who'd done my test, I said, if I fail this, there must be something far wrong with me.
When did they introduce that on B station?
Oh, it's been there for a while.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, Scotland's right.
The only thing I've got to worry about is the dog. Here, come over here.
So when did you two marry?
I think it's 62.
did you?
So you came down in 61?
Yeah.
He enticed you with a bacon sandwich?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Well, that's the way to get them, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
So you can't have been out at the hostel long. You must have found a house.
We lived in a
We
We lived in a
caravan.
caravan for a while, behind the shop and pub.
Gosh.
There's quite a few of them in behind there. Yeah.
Yeah. When it was a very bad winter, we had to carry the water.
62 it was. Yeah.
I remember that. 62.
Yeah, bad winter, yeah.
Yeah.
It was bad, wasn't it? Carried the water from where?
From a thing what they brought outside the pub,
Yeah.
a tank. The first tank they brought was oil in it. It was floating on top of the water.
Oh, golly. That was when the snow was really deep, wasn't
Deep,
it?
yeah.
Right up to the top of the hedges.
Yeah.
I used to walk from Sheraton into, my mother used to live down here, down
Yeah.
in number 12. Used to carry the washing in to mother and do it that way.
But through all the lanes, that can't have been easy with the drifts as high.
No,
Yeah.
it wasn't easy. No. It started snowing on the Boxing Day and it never stopped for I don't know how long.
Golly.
8 weeks it was.
Did you work through that?
Yeah.
You walked out there? Or then,
Well, we got out there. We didn't stop working.
yeah.
No.
Must have been bitter.
Yeah.
And caravans are really cold.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah.
Wake up in the morning, icicles hanging on the ceiling. Yes.
Yes, there was 4 caravans behind the shop and pub at that time, and most of them, they were all employed at Hinkley Point.
Really?
Yeah.
About how many of you were at the? Were you all couples?
Yeah.
Yes, all
Yeah.
married
Yeah.
couples, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
How many caravans did they have?
Just the 4 there.
Just the 4 in the
Oh, sorry, I
back.
thought you said they were all caravans.
No, 4.
No, only 4.
4
in there.
caravans in behind the shop and pub.
They used to have a caravan site up here as
Yeah, there
well.
was one
Up
at
with
the.
the bungalows.
I know they had caravans up here.
Yeah.
Down at Paddens too.
Yeah,
didn't
Yeah,
they?
that was the-
that was the later
Yeah, that's right.
later one.
Yeah.
What did your mother think of it, Sylvie?
All right.
Pleased to have the place bustling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dad worked out there as well. He worked out there for a few years before he retired.
What did he do?
He was a tea boy out there. He used to be a farm labour.
Yeah.
Worked on the farm for all these years.
And did he leave that in order to work out there?
Yeah.
Because the wages were better, or the work was?
Just work.
Well, I would say
Farm.
the wages would have been better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then the
Yeah.
farm work just died away.
I think you'll find the wages are better out there than anywhere.
Really?
Oh yeah.
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 That was when the money was out there.
A big attraction. Yeah.
Of course. Yes.
Yeah.
People,
I mean, lots of local people here would never had money like that before, ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess in some ways the work was less hard
Oh, that's right.
and more secure.
Yeah. Well, the same old system. If you get plenty of people in there, you get it done, won't you?
Yeah.
So that, yeah. It doesn't. That system doesn't change.
No.
It's still the same.
Yeah. Except
The
they
more
don't-
bodies you have, the quicker it will go up.
Yes, if you're well organised.
Yeah. Yes.
Don't have people milling
Yes.
about.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, there's no fear of my boss being like that, I can assure you.
He was tough.
Because he was a legend around here.
Really?
Yeah. His name was Jack Moran,
Yeah.
Irish, and his nickname was Sackham Jack.
Really?
So he got his name because of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you didn't step out of line.
If you didn't do enough, he wouldn't keep you.
It was easier to get rid of people in those days, wasn't it? Too.
Oh, yeah, of course.
You
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
picked your papers up on the
But
Friday night, didn't you?
he certainly he would have wants his pound of flesh.
Yeah.
Well, about a pound and a half if he can get it.
Bit of a bastard then.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can still go into Bridgewater and people will say, do you remember Sackham Jack?
Really?
Yeah.
Did you know you were coming down to him?
No.
I mean, you hadn't met him before.
No, I've never met him before.
That must have been,
Quite an experience, I can assure
I'm
you.
going to say, for a
Yeah.
young man,
Yeah,
for all of you.
yeah. But I mean, yeah. Yes.
How long did he last? Was he there all through?
Yeah, he was there all the way through, yeah. Yeah. And then he started a company of his own, and I worked for him after he'd done that. Yeah, I did, yeah.
What was the company?
His company,
Yeah.
his own company.
Oh, that did...
Not here,
Yeah.
because he moved to Luton from here. But when he started his own company up, I went with him. But that was later on, much later on.
God. So you didn't... You went where the work was while
Yes.
Sylvie was here
Yes.
with the children?
I went from here to Didcot
Yeah.
power station.
All right.
Well, that was the follow-on from this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
So
me.
I was up there for 7 years at Didcot. But Sylvie remained here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That must have been hard.
What was
I was so glad to get rid of me.
What was it? About 15 years, wasn't it?
Eh?
About 15 years, wasn't it? When you worked away. And
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You come back at weekends.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
not every weekend,
Not
every
every
6
weekend.
weeks.
Not every weekend. Yes, I went from Hinkley A to Didcot. I was there up till 1974,
Yeah.
and then I joined up with Jack Moran himself when he had his own company from 74 to 89. That's
Yeah, you can't have been that bad.
that's my lifespan as regards painting. That's
Right.
it, start to finish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you do after? Or did you just stop?
Oh, retired, didn't I? I was out
Yeah.
here. I worked for Interserve and Balfour Beatty out there on the B side,
Yeah.
and a few odd jobs as well, including the painting of a submarine at Barrow.
You
And that,
must, I mean, to work for Jack, he must have liked you and you must have liked him at some level.
well,
Must have been.
well, that's right. I mean, we got on pretty well together. We didn't always agree, but
Yeah.
that's how life is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, he certainly had plenty of ideas about work and get it done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good actually. It's good to work for people like that.
I mean, and he wouldn't be popular now. In fact, he wouldn't. No,
He wouldn't even be allowed now.
no, he
would
wouldn't. That's the problem that he would have. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, he wouldn't be allowed. No.
I don't know that that's a good thing.
Yeah. But
He must have been in the war, mustn't he? Must have had a discipline from the army.
I wouldn't have thought he was in the army.
Yeah.
No, but
Or 60s, 40s.
he had a,
yes, there's a big gap,
he had a
isn't
set
there?
way of working. But
Yeah.
you'd have to work for him. He wouldn't keep you if you didn't work.
Yeah.
Oh no. Very simple.
So when you finished with him, you came back and you went out to be on a contract or just as sort of as and when?
Where?
Out to Hinkley B.
Oh yeah, I worked out there for different people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do they, and do you go up to the station and say I'm looking for work, or do they advertise, or? Because there are quite a few people out there who sort of come in and do a bit, or go in and do a bit, and
Out here.
yeah.
Well, there's always maintenance contractors out there, isn't there?
Yeah.
Balfour Beatty's got the major contracting job out
Yeah.
there as regards maintenance. Babcock's have as well,
Yeah.
and that's how it's done out there now. Because they've hardly got any of their own staff doing any maintenance work, have they?
Yeah. So what? They advertise jobs in the job centre, or?
They're more likely to go for an agency,
Ah.
right? It's easier, isn't it?
Ah, yes.
I mean, if you go to an agency, they'll give you the men. If you don't want them, you give them back, don't you?
That's true. And so the men put their names down at the agency.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's how they do it now. Yeah, yeah.
So all four of your children grew up here. Went
Yeah.
to Stogursey School?
Yes.
Yeah.
A Grove as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what are they doing now?
Oh, one of them's still at the Point. The other one's at Cannock Dairy. One's just, my daughter just live up the road. She got 2 children.
Yeah.
And my other daughter lives down Busy Lydiard. She got 4. She lost her partner 15 years ago. He done himself in.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't get over that.
Left
do you?
4 of them behind. Yes, the youngest one's 15. And the day after he was born, his dad disappeared.
Oh no.
Mm.
That's
She brought those 4 up. Hmm?
It must have been dreadful.
It was for quite a few years.
sad time that was. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
she's not interested in anybody or anything. She's been on her own now for 15
No.
years. And
Mm.
she brought up the 4 on her own.
Yeah.
The oldest is,
Fantastic.
Yeah, she's doing well, but I don't really want to talk about that one.
No.
No.
yes. I don't know.
Stogursey must have changed a lot.
Oh yeah.
For the
Yeah.
better, for the worse, it's different. How do you find it?
I think we miss the butchers, the bakers,
Mm.
and another grocery shop. That used to be, all them used to be bakers
Yeah.
and everything. The post office and the shops, he was the grocery shop. and the baker was not the next door again, and then there was another shop a bit further up, and there was another shop up a bit further up again. A little shop.
That brings life into the village, doesn't it? 'Cause everybody's out there, you see one another.
I think in general the village has gone downhill.
Gone down quite a lot.
Yeah.
Was it that it was getting along and then there was A and B and that gave it a bit of a jolt and then that died down again when A was decommissioned? Or
what I can't understand, for this butcher shop to be shut when there was more houses built in the village and everything.
But
Like you got another story or Canetton or
I would say after A and B were built and up and running, this little village has gone down the hill. It's like a ghost town at times, isn't it?
yes,
Yeah.
because the way of life was changed by the stations and didn't, so it sort of changed the way of life very suddenly, and then the economic stimulus went away.
I think that both comes into play, I reckon. Yeah.
like a lot of people went away and they come back here to retire. That's what.
So they went away to work.
Come back here and retire.
Is it as well the pressure of modern life? I mean, everyone has cars, or most people have cars.
Cars.
Yeah.
And I suppose coming of supermarkets.
But I think if the seaside goes up, and it will go up eventually, it will go up, I don't think this village will feel the benefit of it.
I agree with you. I don't think it will.
No, I don't think it will. No.
I think the village will be bypassed.
Yeah.
Unless some of the money that there is available is actually put into the village and a way to encourage.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that is sustainable either, if it doesn't arise out of the life.
Yeah.
There used to be 3 pubs here. Now there's one, and that one's nearly just as well to be closed and 1 years old.
Yeah.
When she stopped food and everything there, there's nothing.
And the greyhound.
There's nothing there now.
And you can't make it happen, can you?
No.
No.
Yeah, the problem they have is also because of this new health and safety laws, and this drinking business is near enough knocked in the head as far as you go. You can't drink all night and go to work next day.
No.
But that was happening in the early 60s, that did happen.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't happen now, it couldn't happen now.
I think that's a good thing.
I think it is a good thing, yeah. I wouldn't disagree with that. Everything that's happened now, health and safety, is good.
Yeah.
It's good, yeah.
A lot of people say to me, or have said to us when we've been doing this, that they don't know anybody. Hiya.
Anthony?
We're wired
I've
up.
got a lady here.
Don't worry.
Hey. Hey.
Yeah, that's one of the sons, yeah.
He wants his bottle. Oh, he's gone. Yeah, just come home and leave work 1 o'clock today. He's got his Bridgewater and then home.
Yes, as I was saying about the seaside, I don't think this village will do very well out of it.
No. I don't think it will.
No.
In fact, if anything, it'll do worse than it's doing now, because
Go out.
Go on. Lots of people are saying, oh, the contractors will be here and will be in spending money, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, there's nowhere to spend it, and B, they're going to have all their facilities up on site.
No.
So, and
Well, that's right, and they'll have all the gear out there, by the way. They'll have everything set up for them.
yes.
Yeah, they'll have a bar there, but everything will be there for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a few local people might get work sort of chambermaids and that
Oh,
sort
yeah.
of thing.
Yeah, people that wants to go to work, they'll be all right. But the
Yeah.
actual people, as contractors is out there, won't be coming in here to spend a lot of money.
No,
That isn't going to happen.
no, and it's a shame.
It'd be nice to think it would happen, but I can't see it happening.
It would be nice if something, the way people say it happened with A and B, happened again in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be nice.
That, because I don't know, it's such a lovely place to live. I fear it's going to become sort of a dormitory village eventually.
Yeah.
What does, you've got a daughter who lives in Stogursey.
Yeah.
What does she think?
Don't talk about it.
Yeah.
No, she's got 2 children, 1 boy and 1 girl. Well, the girl's birthday yesterday, she was 14, and the boy's coming up 16. Don't.
Do they want to stay
Oh yeah, they
in
won't.
the village?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know if people are very well geared up on the construction side of business, but it's going entirely different now. Entirely different from what it was years ago.
Yeah.
You know.
Specialised teams.
Everything is different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they're going to bring over.
Well, I would say there'll be loads of Eastern European people
Yeah.
coming here. Yeah.
And they'll be brought over as teams.
Yes.
Particular units.
Yeah.
Um,
And I would think most of you people at Shelton will bear the brunt end of that.
oh yes. Yes, we will.
Yeah.
Yeah, we expect it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why all the houses are up for sale.
Well, and many of them have been bought.
Well, there's one down from you that's still up for sale, isn't it?
Yes, they're still in the sort of 6-month trial period. Whether or not they sell to EDF in the end, I don't know.
Is that the batch, is it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but EDF own 10% of the houses in
Yeah, they do, yeah.
Shetland now.
Yeah.
So.
And all those bungalows, that used to be a farm.
Do you remember it as a farm?
Oh yeah. After Inkley Point started, that was a farm.
Really?
Yeah. Quite a few years. How long been Bert gone from?
Oh, a long time, isn't he?
Quite a long time now.
Yeah.
There
Yeah.
used to be 2 cottages and a farmyard and everything there.
Must have been pretty.
Yeah, I would think all them small bungalows and things that's there
Small
at Shelton now
bungalows.
were never there in 1960 or before that.
So there was just the farm on the corner,
Right on the corner.
the batch and our house.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's, yeah, I would
The
say
pub
that.
and
The
the
pub and the one next to it.
Yeah.
And then nothing till you got to Bishop's Farm. It would just have been a collection of farmhouses, really.
Yeah,
Yeah,
near
yeah.
enough. Yeah.
And New Cottage and Bishop's Cottages.
Yeah.
and the cottage, the thatched cottages were there,
Yeah,
and the house, not where John lives to, John Lucas,
yeah.
they wasn't there. No,
No.
was the bungalows wasn't there.
No.
The other ones was, the other houses. Then there's a few more houses built up round where the brook is.
Yeah,
They wasn't there.
that's true. There's 2 up there, aren't there? 2
Yeah.
modern houses.
Yeah. Yes.
So that was all farmland
Mm.
and all elm trees. Orchards? Were there orchards?
Yeah, big orchard there as well. Yeah.
Used you to play down there as a child?
No, I never used to. We used to live at Stowford when I was really small, till I was 12. Yeah, 12-year-old when we moved in, when my mother moved here.
Out of the wind.
Yes. And that was the days that was. Used to walk in from Stowford into the shops Saturdays. Never used to have no buses then.
No.
Only a couple of times a week.
But that's 2 or 3 miles, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
At least.
Yeah.
And carrying.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
No ponies,
No.
no bikes.
No, we never used to have bikes
Yeah.
when we were that small. No.
But you didn't think anything of it, did you, walking 2 or 3
No.
miles?
We used to walk miles then.
And you used to allow the time, which was the other thing, I think. Nowadays, of course, we don't allow the time.
No.
We used to have. Am I keeping you?
No, no.
No, no.
No.
Yes, that's about our lifestyle when total now. You put all my working years thrown in one heap now.
He's looking at you.
Well, I've also been to Aldermaston,
Oh yeah, on the power stations up there.
not on the power station, on the MOD site at Aldermaston.
So your security clearance must be fantastic.
Yeah. I could write a book if I could do it.
Why don't you?
Yeah.
Or talk a book.
Yeah.
You could talk a book into a recorder.
Yes.
My father did that.
Aldermaston is where they make the
Bombs.
the missiles for these
Yeah.
submarines, which I was up painting one of them. That's where they make them down at Aldermaston. Yeah. But I'm not allowed to talk about that.
You're not.
No.
Strictly speaking, not. Absolutely not to say anything.
No. You can't. I had to sign it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You must have seen a lot of grey paint in your life.
All sorts of paint. Yeah. All the steelwork out there was painted blue. All the main steelwork was
Right.
blue, and the small intermediate ones was grey. That's how it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the actual roof of the reactor and the turbine hall was blue. And they were all painted, which they wouldn't be painted now.
Oh, right. What did they do
Oh,
now?
they'd come plastic sheeting, wouldn't they?
Oh, I see.
And plastic coated sheeting, and they'd put them on now.
That can't be as durable as paint, though, can it?
Oh, better durable than it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be better, yeah.
Because there's a real skill, isn't there, to a paintbrush with paint. I know I don't have it. My husband won't let me decorate. But that feeling
Yeah.
of moving the skin along.
Mm.
Yeah.
Do you do decorating yourself or? No?
No, do you?
No, I used to. I can't now. Can't do it now.
Oh, the decorating.
Mm.
Mm. And the way they painted them roofs out there, you
Yeah.
might, I don't think you believe what I'm going to tell you now, but there's cranes that runs along there,
Yeah.
and we painted all them roofs off the top of them cranes.
Standing on the top. Of the
Yeah, they move along, don't they? Yeah.
Yeah, with a
And all them roofs are painted like that. Scaffold on top of the cranes, and the crane moved along, and you painted the roof at the same time.
above your heads.
Yeah.
Were you born this fit, or did the work you do make you as fit as you are?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's how it was. You know. Yeah.
You just did it to earn a living,
Yeah.
keep a roof over your heads.
But I wasn't on my own. There was a lot of us out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
But the painting business now, as I've told you already,
yeah.
there isn't. There isn't.
Soft.
No. Paint it before it comes to sight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm told it was quite a dirty site. A station. I mean, dirty in terms of sort of bits lying around and.
I'll put it this way, it wouldn't happen now, what would happen then. No, I wouldn't, well, at that time I wouldn't have said it was a dirty site, but
Yeah.
looking at what I see now,
Yeah.
yeah, they wouldn't have got away with that.
Because people didn't care, didn't know,
Well,
all knew.
people, well, they knew, but they didn't do anything about it.
Ah.
That's what the problem was,
Yeah.
you know. Yeah. Yeah.
Because, I mean, when and where was the first nuclear power station built?
What was that?
When and where was the first nuclear power station
Oh,
built?
the first one was up at Calder Hall, which is up Cumbria, isn't it?
Right,
Yeah, that's the first one.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that would have been in the 50s.
Yeah, yeah, early 50s, yeah. Yeah. But this one here wouldn't be far behind it.
No. I don't.
When this one, the A site here was being built,
Yeah.
the one at Sizewell was built at the same time.
Right.
Sizewell A
Yeah.
and Hinckley A went up at the same
Yeah.
time.
I don't remember anything about either of them. I vaguely remember Hinckley B.
Yeah.
A, I was probably out of the country because we grew up abroad.
Yeah. They normally put them up 2 at a time.
Yeah.
You normally do that. Heysham 1 went up and Hartlepool went up at the same time.
Yeah.
And Heysham 2 and Torness went up at the same time. So that was the normal system at that time.
Yeah.
They put up 2, not 1, 2.
Yeah.
But the last nuclear one they got was Sizewell B,
Yeah.
and that's 20 odd years ago.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose they're putting 2 up here, aren't they? When they do.
Yeah,
When they
yeah,
do.
yeah. But there has been coal-fired ones gone up since as well, by the way.
Yeah. Are they much the same? In terms of construction and painting and
Well,
in terms of the labour involved?
yeah, they're probably more, but labour involved in the coal-fired ones, but they're far dirtier.
Yeah.
No, yeah. But they're still massive buildings.
Yeah.
Everything on a coal-fired station is the same as a nuclear. You've got the turbine halls and you've got the boilers. Everything is near enough the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Except when they start running the coal dust. Yeah. Far dirtier than nuclear.
Yes.
Yeah.
At least
Yeah.
at the point of combustion.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And did the thought of radioactivity never bother you?
It bothered me more when I was on the B side.
Really? Why?
Yeah. A bit wary of it when you get older, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you're young, I suppose you're invincible.
You know, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Did it ever bother you?
No. No.
No. No.
No.
What about the storage of waste?
Hmm?
What about the storage of waste out there?
I wouldn't be in agreement with that.
Really?
No. No, I don't think there should be any waste stored out there.
Well, they're thinking of doing it.
I know they are, but I certainly wouldn't be.
Because of its inherent danger, or because you don't think we're sufficiently careful of how we treat it?
Exactly that.
Yeah, that we're not careful enough.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
What would you do about it? If it weren't stored there.
Well, I think they should store it where they've been storing it all along, but they're trying to say they haven't got enough space there or something, aren't they?
Yeah. They're trying to...
They're trying to pan it off down here, aren't they? Yeah, anywhere.
Yeah, anywhere at all.
Yeah. I'm not so sure they can look after it very well.
No, me neither, actually.
You know, that's the top and tail of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there aren't enough people here to make a fuss,
Yeah.
basically. And it's...
Yeah.
Okay, it's not only us village people for that, is it? Like there's Cummage and Stowford and all around.
Oh, it's everywhere. I mean,
Everywhere.
Whatever they want to store it, they shouldn't be storing it down here.
No.
No.
There's a lot more unease about that, isn't there, than about the building of steam.
By far.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd have no objection at all to the actual sea station going up, but I would certainly wouldn't be willing with the storage of the waste.
Yeah.
That's something different on us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Though whether we have any say in it or not, I really
Well, I
don't know.
don't know either, but I mean,
No, you see, has to be built. changing of the landscape saddens me.
Yeah, I mean, I walk in fields every day, and I mean,
Yeah.
all I see now is a big, vast space of emptiness. Yeah,
I've been very cowardly. I haven't gone out there since.
I mean, I've seen all them hedges and things. And
Yeah.
it's like a wasteland, isn't it? Yeah.
One time I said I'd never go down to the bars again. I did once, and I cursed myself for doing it because it just wasn't the same.
Mm.
It was.
I haven't been out there for years.
Used you to take the children out there?
Yeah, Sherton Bars, yeah. And Stowford, Lowestock.
Walking?
Walking,
Yeah.
yeah. And we used to walk to Stowford and walk all along, right up to Sherton Bars and back through.
Must have been glorious.
Mm. My mother used to enjoy that.
You used to do that, didn't you? Every weekend you went for a walk.
Yeah.
Family.
Yeah.
Family.
Oh, yeah.
You don't see them do it now, do you? Or they mine's in front of the television or on the computers.
Yeah. Such a waste.
Mm.
Such a waste.
They're on about children, aren't they, for not having enough exercise.
Yeah.
What do they do? Come home from school straight in front of the computer or
Yeah.
on the phones as well.
I don't understand it really. I can't see that there's that much to say. You know,
No.
if you to have a phone all the time.
Yeah.
They've got all these games on the phones now, haven't they?
Yeah.
That they can play. Oh,
I think we saw the better days.
We did actually.
Yeah.
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 Dorothy Flukes in Burton says she used to walk.
yeah.
with
Oh
her
yes.
children
She
all
used.
the way up to the hills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. She used to be a school teacher.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Her daughter, see, her seat's out Sherton Bars.
Yes, yes, she told me about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sarah's seat is out there, yeah.
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 Used you to know her well? Used you to know her well?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
She's
She was at school when I was at school. Mrs. Flux was.
Really?
Yeah, at Stogursey School.
You've got vets happening now.
Pardon?
You've got the vets happening now.
Yeah, not yet.
What time's the vet?
4 o'clock.
Don't take him away.
No, I just thought about that when I did.
Yeah, don't take him away.
So you're right, the dog. I mean, well, obviously.
He's biting on his back.
He's fine, but he keeps biting his back.
Hey.
It's what there,
Yeah,
look.
I can see.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up?
Think about it.
Hey?
Come here.
Which vet do you go to? Which vet do you go to?
Oh, it used to be in Castle Street at King Square. King Square, but they shifted down to Bristol Road now, but he's been there before, he's had an injection there before, so
Yeah.
I've got to take him back.
You take mine.
Oh, go away.